There's three main principles that I like to start with that talks about how organic agriculture works. From what we've talked about so far, what would the principle be? We've already had it listed on the board.
Diversity.
Great, diversity. Here's the principle: the more diverse the system, the more stable it is. The more diverse a business, the more successful. It's a universal principle. The more diverse any system is, the more stable it is. Is that true? Do you believe me? Does it make sense? If you just had the centers on your basketball team that could shoot free throws 100% all the time and from way at the other end of the gym almost and sink it every time, but they were all centers, would that work? Give me some advice, wouldn't it? But it's not a complete team. We need a team that's diverse. And the same with your organizations, your schools, your communities, everything. The same with agriculture, and especially organic farming. What can we control? What things can we control? What we were worried about before, we worried about weeds. That's one thing we worry about, right? We can control weeds with diversity, with crop rotations. So with crop rotations, we are breaking up wheat cycles. Remember when we talked about spring wheat and winter wheat, for example? What if we added to that a legume? What if we added to that an oilseed crop? What if we added to that a hay crop like alfalfa? And then we put all that in rotation. What would that do to the weed population? Would it be, and you did that something different every year. Would the same weeds build up? No, they couldn't, because they're in an atmosphere or an environment that's not very satisfactory for them. It's not very good for them. And so they will be at a disadvantage. And when you put things in it, you don't need to eradicate your problems. You just need to manage them. And so when you put things at a disadvantage so it can be managed, you don't need to eradicate. And that costs a lot of money. You only need to manage them. They need to be in a position where they are not economically a detriment to your cash crop. That means they're not reducing your yield significantly or giving you other trouble. And you can do that with diversity and crop rotations. What else do you need to worry about? What else do you do to your farms? What are some big expenses on the farm besides chemical sprays for weeds? What's the other big expense besides fuel for your tractor? What else is there? How about this? Anybody put fertilizer in the ground here? Okay, you buy that? Is that a big bill? Pretty expensive, isn't it? Okay. Is it necessary?
No.
Why is it necessary? Would we be doing it if it wasn't necessary? I mean, it's cost a lot of money. No, right. So what is it providing for us? Do you want nutrition? Yeah, okay. Primarily nitrogen, but other things too. That's what we're putting on the ground. Because why? Why are we putting it back on? Because it's gone somewhere, right? The previous crops have used it up, and we've hauled it away as wheat or barley or whatever we're growing. We've hauled it off the field. It's being depleted. It's going down, down, down. If you don't replenish that, what's going to happen eventually? Can you grow anything? Not much. So this is very important. And organic, we call this soil building. This is the second principle of organic agriculture that's very, very important. That as chemical farmers mostly take for granted, they just order it in. They order, when they have a soil test, so they kind of know how much nitrogen they need. They buy that much and they have it spread in their fields and they're done, right? If you're not doing that, you've got to do something else that mimics the model, that mimics the prairie. What does the prairie do to provide nitrogen for itself? Anybody know?
Just remember that plant, that special plant that puts nitrogen in the soil, what do we call that?
Yeah. Are there legumes growing in the prairie? Huh?
Yes.
Are there? What kind? Anybody see any? In the springtime? You ever seen sweet peas? Is that a legume?
Yeah.
Okay, it is. That's an example. That's one example of a legume that grows in the prairie, grassland. There's many like that, but that's probably the easiest one to spot, especially in the spring when it's blooming. But it's putting nitrogen in the soil. All of those plants are contributing and taking something out of the soil in perfect balance over the decades. It's not, it might be out of balance a little one year and a little next because of the rain or the drought or something, but overall, it's in perfect balance. All the plants that are growing together contribute something that other plants need, and vice versa. And the legumes are providing nitrogen, taking nitrogen out of where? Where does it come from?
There.
The air. And what do they do with it, you know? Have you had that at your chemistry yet? You're fixing it. Teacher says yes. Okay. They fix it into a nitrate. They fix it into a form a plant can use. Can the plant suck nitrogen out of the air and make proteins out of it? No. How come? Because nitrogen is this N2. Is this a stable molecule? Can it easily be broken apart? Not too easy. This is a very stable molecule. And bacteria called rhizobium is needed to break this apart, to add oxygen to it, makes ions with it, and eventually, and that's what then goes into the plant, and that's what the plant can use. Okay? So the plant can't use this by and large right out of the air. It can't. But bacteria can. Some bacteria can. And they're associated with the legumes. Okay. So that is the second big principle of organic agriculture. The other one I just kind of made up myself. I call that flexibility. Flexibility. And that means that we don't farm our farms exactly by the calendar and exactly by the book. Because is everything predictable? No. Is anything predictable? Well, something. I mean, the sun comes up in the morning. We have winter, we have cold and winter, hot and summer. But how those play out is entirely unpredictable. How much rain we get, then we know how much rain we're going to get this next year. Flexibility is really critical in being able to adjust your plans according to what the fields are doing. If the fields are running low of nitrogen, maybe you need to come in with your soil building crops a little earlier in your plan. If there's a certain weed that's building up, maybe you need to plant some alfalfa to take it out. So those are the kinds of things that really are the basis that I think makes for the founding principles of organic systems that mimic then nature and mimic the prairies in our case, since that's where we are. We don't, flexibility isn't really applied to nature so much because they have these sorts of things going on continuously. We can't grow all the plants in the same field at the same time, can we? I mean, is that possible? No. So we use the crop rotations for that. So that's where we introduce an area of flexibility that doesn't exist in nature. But we're mimicking it by having these rotations. But we can't do exactly what is found in nature because nature is so diverse.